Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Monday night, our connections, our friends, and now we have few people gathering everywhere. So this is a beautiful to see. It's funny for our group that developed for the last few years, we are in a way are homeless, right? But I feel every home we've been host by somebody, it's our home, meaning I don't want to say we're taking over, right? But it's just like, feels like, wow, that we meant to be here, right? So thank you for hosting us and welcoming us in such a beautiful way. Thank you for the new people who are joining us. And as well, some people have been host different places in LA, in Tulum. It's beautiful to see it, right? So this week, what are we connected to? What do we want to awaken? And reminding you that a group of people who come together for a spiritual reason. Again, some of us can have a glue or connection on different clubs, on different reasons, or different occasions. This important to remember that our glue is the wisdom. It's nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the host, nothing to do with who is there and what is there. That's sometimes we are in the physical world, we appear that we thinking, oh, because of this or because of that. Make sure that every time you come to that study or connection, that the wisdom will be the glue. The wisdom is something that stays forever. Connection between people, all that type of agendas and reasons eventually disappear. It doesn't have any holding for too long. So therefore, if our connection will be only the wisdom, right? Only that light, only that energy, only that frequency of wisdom, because you have people, you can talk to them about many things, right? Frequency of politics, it's a different frequency. You can have a whole day talking in politics, yes or no? You can have a whole day talking about business, about the weather. It's different frequency. So just make sure that our connection, because the glue for that is wisdom, therefore we can request that our connection will help the world moving forward with help. And if you bring people, again, I know it's a little bit, sometimes it's very difficult to think this way, but in that moment now, you can literally thinking about people in your life that need help, people in your life that in troubles. I know some of us also have trouble, some of us have difficulty, but because we're getting together, we can tilt or change or move a little bit closer to much positive, much powerful place because of that gathering. So just again, any other gathering doesn't do it much. But because we are connected on a wisdom level, on that light, on that frequency, we can request. So I always recommend to come to the connection, to the class, not what I'm going to get out of it. What can I do with it? How can I change the world with it? How it's going to assist me tomorrow? Okay, that's very important also to bring people that need help, people who need to find their soulmate. We want that house to be blessed. We want anybody who comes here to be blessed. And therefore, that's like a little bit prerequisite to make a connection. Second part is, I'm not sure, some of us are new, some of us don't know me so much, but I studied Kabbalah for the last, since 1999. Before that, I like to call it spiritual shopper, right? I did all kind of different wisdoms and try many different circles and different reasons and different things and religion. And bottom line, it didn't work. I don't want to take more of the time about my process, but the reason I'm sharing this is because I'm not bringing my own wisdom. This is not mine, doesn't belong to me. Nothing belongs to me in this world. Everything that you share, now you have an opportunity to connect to it. So some of us even sitting here and listening doesn't mean it's internalized. When do we internalize what we receive? When we start having discussion about it, when we share it, when we help somebody with it. That's another layer to connect. One of the important parts to remember that when we share wisdom, we're not sharing like what we feel like. It's not like, oh, I feel like sharing this or that's the schedule. No. Every week, I the Kabbalist goes to the Torah. The Torah is what we call, some people call it the Bible, or some people know it's a religious article, or some kind of a, it's a nice story. Absolutely not. This is all codes. This is all a vehicle. That's what we call it. The Torah comes from the word hora'ah, which is a path. It's like a flashlight who shows you where to go every single day. Every single hours of the day, you can actually literally can receive information from. That's so a living, breathing organism that grows, that allows humanity to develop. That's this tool. It's not some simple artifact or religious artifact. So the Kabbalists understand that, therefore we have many, many different books to help us to decipher and interpret the secrets that are available. Secret never meant to be a secret. Secret is a secret until it's been revealed, and reveal its light, reveal its potential. So now in this week, we enter to the new moon of Leo, which is, we learn about Saturday night, we enter to a shift of energy called the Leo, which is the sign of the zodiac. Well, of course, it's nothing to do with the regular, usual astrology. We spoke about many times that for us is a cosmic event. And in the first 9 days of this month, which is literally this week until Saturday night or Sunday, it's a very unique energy that we need to understand that frame. It's another frame that we need to be aware of these days. Known to be, if you talking to many people, they will tell you it's a very negative days. But definitely, there's nothing like that in this world. There is stronger and less strong, right? There is more and there's less. There's no, sometimes when even if you take a river, right? The river can be very nice and lovely, but if it's flood and there's a lot of water, it can be very deadly, right? So the same water can be deadly if it's too much, if it's too strong, and can be bringing life, right? So what we want to connect is to understand, first of all, in these days, as I shared before, historically, right? Many, many negative things appear in this time. Why? Not because it's a negative day, because people didn't know how to protect themselves. People don't know how to harness these days. So therefore, for those of us who are not practicing for a long time, we need to know there's in these days tremendous messages, very powerful lessons, very powerful secrets. That's why we need to know the 9 day. Why it's 9? 9, the number 9, usually in Kabbalah, it represents secrets, right? There's a lot of secrets when you hear the number 9 within it. Now, we also have that revelation called Messiah. In the end of the 9 days, that's what we call Mashiach Messiah. What does it mean? Is that a religious guy who comes back? Is it Moses or Jesus or someone's come back? Is it Muhammad is coming back? Well, somebody's coming back to save us? Absolutely not. Nobody comes to save us anymore. Nobody comes to your help anymore. Why? Yes, if I ask a friend, of course they're going to assist me, but they cannot remove your negativity. They cannot alleviate your correction, your process in life. They can be with you, they can help you. But our job is to awaken the Messiah. What is the Messiah? It's just like as soon as I say the word, it sounds like a religion to me. But again, to understand what it means, the code of that, as according to Kabbalah, is when humanity achieve consciousness over matter. That most of us, our consciousness is being shaped based on what we see externally. The other way around, which means if it's happening, I'm happy. If it's not happening, dependency. You know what I'm saying? If I get the check, I'm happy. If I get the relationship, I'm satisfied. All of that. Mind of a is that we are complete authority on the physical world. For now, physical world is not yet in our possession. We want to, not there yet. So that idea is the Messiah is not someone that will come from a mountain or someone in a beautiful white, whatever the story. No, It's each one of us is our private Messiah. If you're not awakening your, what we call Messiah, it means super consciousness. When you awaken consciousness that you control the entire creation of the world, that is Messiah. Another thing is awaken in the coming to these 9 days, tremendous gifts, is to witness the creation. Most of us are just living and sleeping. And all of a sudden we say, oh, wow, this storm came up. I didn't know the story. Oh, wow, it's sunny today. Oh, wow. We're all surprised all of a sudden when we go out to the nature and we see how beautiful it is. Why don't they do it a lot, right? Or something came up and I wasn't aware of. Most of us, the creation is happening and we're only discovering later. We're not witnessing as the creation is evolved. And that's a gift, to open our eyes to witness creation, to witness the beauty of what installed for us. And that is the gift of these days. This is what you want the consciousness to go. This is your investigation of this week. So now, another level of this. How many people witnessing the work of the Creator in this world? Not just the work of creation, the work of the Creator. Now, Creator, what do I see? A man? Is it a person? Absolutely not. It's when you start witnessing that you become the creator of your life, that you realize, wow, it's all dependent on me. Wow, that situation will never happen without me. That situation will never happen if, right? Now, again, it's not about from the ego point of view that you are the only one. You're not the only, you are the one, but not the only one who can do it. So each one of us has to awaken that power, has to be that witness of the Creator and his creation. Again, in an endless way, not in a glimpse. Some of us, sometimes we get too high and we get, oh, wow, 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 and then we buy, right? Goodbye for a few days. It's not about just having those highs. It's constant and endless. That's how the consciousness should be. So now let's go to this week. Let's understand what is happening this week. This week we're starting what we call the Book of Deuteronomy. There are 5 books that the Bible is divided with. Each one of them help us to awaken different layer within us. This particular book that's starting this week is represent what we call the world of Malchut, this world, the physical world. There are different layers, different frames in this world. Some of us are only operating in this physical world. Some of us operating in different levels, right? And even if you operate in the physical world, your impact sometimes is not being shown in this physical world, your impact in a complete different level, like in a quantum level, right? Everybody understand quantum. This week, the story starts, right? That first of all the books that was written until now is referred to as a channel of the Creator. Beside that particular book, that the channel for that is Moses. It says that Moses rewrite the whole story in this book. Now, it's just an incredible secret that I just cannot keep it to myself or to the people who study Kabbalah. I just have to share it. First, there's a secret from one of the Kabbalists. His name is the Baal Shem Tov. He lived some 250 years ago. He was the Kabbalist who goes through the criminal kind of, right? The people who nobody wants to teach, right? The people who nobody, they're not holy enough, right? This is the person. This is why I really like it, because I like to teach all the people who are not that holy, right? And not that connected and not that. I'm very excited about it. And nothing to do with you guys. You guys are, no, I'm talking about the other groups. Okay? Everybody's like, no, me? No, it's not you. So, but the beauty of that is that it's not you also. Okay? But we can be sometimes those people, right? One of the verse that he shared, what is the message? So I'm going to read the verse as it says literally, and then I will translate for us, He says, "Ve'adavar asher yaksher Mikem tikravun elai ushmati. So let me explain it. Sometimes the language there's a lot of barrier there. It says that the thing that is so difficult, it will be difficult for you or let's say put it this way, the thing that is the most difficult for you, over there you need to get closer to me, and then you're gonna hear. Let's understand what it means. Every single day throughout the world, there is almost like an alarm system, or let's put it this way, a tremendous sound system that goes out every morning, every single day. It warns you. But nobody told me that I shouldn't get married today. Nobody tell me, I shouldn't open my business today. Nobody tells me that to be aware, not to have a confrontation or conversation right now. I should wait for next week. Next week, much better energy, right? Nobody knows that later on their life become very difficult. It's like a farmer, simple as a farmer. Have you ever seen a farmer, doesn't check the right day when he need to plant the trees or the seeds? He know exactly. Or a sailor, everybody know exact day when the high and the low tide. Exact. There's moments you can't really skip. It's to the seconds almost. But most of us live life. We can think. We can do whatever we want. We can behave the way we want. We can start whatever we want. We can finish whatever we want. Yes, you can, but you just make it difficult for yourself. That's it. You just make it harder, right? Have you ever heard those people in life that make things harder? It's us. It's us. Our life is not meant to be that hard. It should be a little bit challenging, right? A little bit more powerful, right? Not like almost, very shallow and who cares, right? If I learn the system, if I'm opening myself, there's a lot of revelation and a lot of warning that can teach you where to be careful and where not to. So now, it says that voice comes, but I don't hear. One of the things that is a very beautiful lesson, this week, Moses standing in the mountain and speak to 600 and plus thousand people. I speak to 30, 40 people here. I need to scream. How did 600,000 people heard the guy? Is it a joke? Is it someone doesn't tell us something? Did he have like what he had, a megaphone, like this speaker, What is it? How? No, nobody speaks about it. For me today, I'm thinking like, wait a second. How did he actually say to everybody? 600 and plus thousands of people. And he speak, how loud can he, what? It was in the valley that they heard him, what? That is the message. That is the beautiful message. Many people think that we need to be heard and they need to hear us physically. Many people think that it's come literally the way it is. Now, let's understand that. That's why the voice that I told you, we all hearing it every single day. But you told me it's like a loudspeaker. I don't hear it, right? This is that voice. This is how they heard Moses, and this is how you can hear every single day that voice. Why? How? First, it's if each one of us start working on the consciousness, or let's put it this way, Messiah consciousness, super consciousness. Like we know we have superpowers, we know we are superhuman, but we also know that to achieve that, I need a super consciousness, not a regular consciousness. What is consciousness is another story we discussing all the time, but the Kabbalist only speaks about consciousness. It's all just consciousness. And if I want to adjust or adapt anything in life, I need to adapt it or adjust it over here through my consciousness. Later on, physically, it will rearrange itself very easy without your involvement. But your involvement is in consciousness. Your involvement is awaken that super consciousness. That's the work that we need to do. That's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing every single day. So now, how do I expand? Because my consciousness of yesterday, it was enough for yesterday. The consciousness that I had today was good for today, but it cannot take me for tomorrow. Many people are writing, right? For example, people come to class, and thank God that we have our friend that, thank God, thank Adam, my friend, he upload the class right away, right? But in a way, I heard the class on Monday, let's say Tuesday, I'm writing on the class until the next Monday. No, that cannot be. That's why many people come to class. Sometimes I get a class, people come and tell me, Monday was great, Tuesday, Wednesday, already by the weekend, I already lost it. Now I need Monday again, right? They're waiting for Monday. It's, again, we can do it in a week, but we can do it. You can listen to it every single day. You can take the next step. You can research, investigate, do a little bit more every day, because the consciousness that you learn today, it's good for today. It will be great tomorrow if you increase more. So what does it mean? I always need to be in consciousness of what? Expansion. How do I expand my consciousness? Always. It's like very simple, because if I want to influence a greater and greater reality, I need to expand my consciousness greater and greater. If I want to host super consciousness, I need to become a superhuman. How do I do that? How do I funnel super consciousness? Again, it's daily. It's daily widening or expanding my consciousness. Now, how do we do that? And again, this is so simple. The Kabbalist is so simple. That's why some people think it has to be too complicated, and they don't get it. The simplicity is the most beautiful thing. For example, computer. You remember the computer in the 90s? You were probably, some of you were kids, right? But in the 90s, every memory chip or every data that I need, right? What you may call it, this hard drive. It was a big boxes, big screen like that. It was heavy machinery. You remember the phones? Remember the phones, right? You had a suitcase. Anybody know if you don't remember that? What happened? What happened? The computer become faster. The phone become a supercomputer. What happened between the old to the new? Very simple. What was able to make it happen? They reduce what? The matter. Less matter. Less material. Less physicality. More funneling information. So now we see even technology tells you, you don't need those big hard drive and all of that today. It's in the cloud. It's in the air. What do you mean in the air? Yeah, in the air, wherever you want. Most of us thinking this way again. So for example, what is the key that we just learned right now? If I can reduce the matter in my life, I can expand and achieve a connection to super consciousness. Let's understand that a little bit more, because even if I'm going to study all the knowledge in the world, I know all the Zohar by heart, I know all the wisdom, all these right, I know by heart. Does it fix anything in my life? Absolutely not. Knowing that doesn't mean you obtain or you relate or you connect to it. Just because I read it, right? Just because I read it, just because I study it, right? You cannot hold it. Anybody can study the whole internet? Can you know? Do you need to study the whole thing that's on the internet? No, what do you need? Pay the bill, right? Connection. I just need a connection. Once I have the connection, I have access to everything, anytime I want. But between that, it's a connection. It's not even physical. It's not even physical. Can you imagine, like, the whole internet is not even physical. So now, same thing. Super consciousness can funnel through you any times of the day, any time of life. When I reduce matter in my life. What does it mean reducing the matter? Reducing the attachment to, if I don't have these shoes, I'm never gonna be happy. If I don't have that person, I'm never gonna be successful. If I don't, we putting or we holding on something physically, thinking, right? Let's say I can carry all those books. Does it make me smart? Does it make me that I know all this wisdom? Right? Anybody remember something from college beside the party or anything? Do you remember the books that you study hours and hours? Do you remember any of that? From that physics, from math and all of that? How much you remember? A little bit. You don't even, I don't want to even see it anymore. Right? But I study it, I learn it. Now you didn't hold anything of that for the moment, and it's by. That's not this wisdom. This is not what we're communicating here. And again, a wider and extensive consciousness, everybody in the world can hear you, even if you are not with them physically. That is when you can influence. That's how they heard Moses. That's how that voice can be heard. When I'm every day taking care of expanding my consciousness. So you can work and study, I'm expanding, but I don't remove or reduce the attachment of the matter in my life, the attachment of the people in my life, of the things in my life. It cannot be funneled. You look at the computer, less, even my laptop right now is so thin, right? Where is all the information? Before it was less, now it can do more. Just imagine, less is so much more. And then if you want to achieve a connection, first of all, to hear the voice, to hear the warning, to hear the solution, to hear, right, the voice of your soul. What we call the voice of, as Moses speaks to everybody, nobody heard him. Everybody got him this way, that way. They receive him in no time, space, in motion. As he was speaking, they getting it. So this is what influence can do. This is each one of us influence can do. If we achieve that, and if we expand our consciousness, everything that you funnel there, your family, your friends, your clients, your future people, your future things can nourish from that. That's what it means. That is what we call the private Messiah. Each one of us need to spread that light, spread that wisdom, spread that power. Again, and this is in our own frame. So this is the first gift that, sometimes, someone called me, says, you know what, I heard you telling me, I wasn't even there. He says, but I heard you telling me, don't do this or don't do that. But I never spoke to you. He said, nah, I heard you, right? Somehow people hearing you. So that's the second, or maybe the first stronger point. The second part that I want to talk about is that idea that Moses wrote the whole story right now. And this is what he tells us. He tells us that the story, that why Moses wrote it, to show us something beautiful. Because the whole story is nothing to do with 3,400 years ago. It's to do with today. And he tells us and he gives us instruction. You need to write your story. Stop allowing people to write your story. You should do this. You should be that. Or your parents telling you, oh, I think you should do this. You better do this. All kind of, no, anybody, we're not living our life anymore. No, don't wear that. It doesn't really look good on you. Don't wear this. Don't wear that. Why are you working for them? Why you do all day long? People have some opinion on what do we do and what we should do. They know, I know you better than you know yourself. Anybody have people like that in life? That's bad. Not such a good friend to have, right? Not that the friend is the problem, it's us. We allow them to lead, to guide us, and not us. So first is the understanding that Moses tells us, the message that comes, this is not Moses' story. This is our story from this week. Every week I'm going to share. This is our story. This is how we rewrite the story. We're learning all the lesson, and we rewrite the story in our own word, in our own way. So now, ask yourself, do you believe in the story that you tell people every day about you, about what you believe, what you saw? Do you really believe in that story of you? I find people just like sometimes, you meet people, they start talking. I feel like they left and they and they leave the mouth with me talking, Because someone is talking. Who is talking? Do you believe what you talk? You understand what you're talking about right now? Do you know what you're saying right now? Right? So many people. Again, this is, God forbid, not from judgment point of view, but from a point of view of like, nobody really believe anymore to their story, right? And not just that, not just you selling a story about your history, about your path, about your success. I mean, all of a sudden, sometimes you realize that the person is repeating the story over and over. Well, I heard that story. Oh, yeah, you told me that story. How many times you have friends you meet? Did I tell you the story? Yeah, I know I tell stories many times about, sometimes I don't know how you get not getting tired, but I tell you sometimes stories, but I know stories, you said a story, a lesson or something to be learned from. And that's a different idea. But, sometimes you have in life, people telling you, yeah, you told me this. Oh, yeah, you told me this. Oh, yeah, you told me this. Yeah, telling so many people. Really? We have to really realize that, are we telling the same story on over and over? Actually, are you still inspired by your story? Are you still motivated by your story? Does it move you, your story? How deep your story goes? Can you rewrite it and find a deeper lesson to who you are? That's the question. That's what the Moses tells us. This is this book. The whole next 8-9 weeks is about that. It's about rewrite your story in a deeper way, in a real way. But my story is not that exciting. Why is not that exciting? Because you try to compare to someone that is like maybe a nature crazy person, right? Or someone in an extreme way. So of course, that's a frame. And this isn't, don't compare your story. Your story never meant to be compared or be judged by others or be like, do you like my story? Who cares? That's not the point. There's nothing, but look, they are better than me. No, Moses tells us this week, stop writing on the old story every single day. See your story in way more exciting way. If you're not expanding your consciousness, of course you're going to see yourself as old. It's the old news, right? Because you're trying to ride on the story of yesterday. It doesn't have the capacity, it doesn't have the enough fuel to carry you for tomorrow. So just make sure that what you awaken this, first of all, am I inspiring in telling my story? Again, it doesn't mean that you have to just go around and tell people your story, right? It's about you, how you tell yourself the story. Do you believe in it? Do you see the greatness of that? Do you think it's really deep? Do you think there's a next level to that story? Do you think that story can help somebody else? If yes, do you share it? How many times a day? You know how many times people sharing one story? I share, if you go to the YouTube, I share one story that I did, right? Kilimanjaro, right? You saw that? No, go there and see it. I told one story, right? I went climb a mountain. It was one story. Every single day I'm going to sit around, tell me story. It's funny, it's just, okay. That's why I got stuck on this amazing story that I went through. If I can start telling you stories, You get, wow, wow. Again, maybe I'm not that special, right? But in a way, I always love to see things in a more deeper way, more exciting way. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? I don't get the point. Being depressed every single day, I don't see a point. Just tell me what's the point. Someone sitting 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 years depressed. How is it benefit anyone, anything? Does it give you anything? No, just take away from you. If you rewrite your story, if you tell your story in a different way, if you even write it and read it to yourself, start seeing something else, start seeing another point of view. This is how you expand. Sometimes you don't know that you are just a repetition of repetition of repetition, like a parrot, just repeating the story. No energy, no inspiration, no excitement, no passion. And it's eventually you get tired and people will tell you, we heard that. Yeah, it's very interesting. And even if they hear it the second time, it's already become like, whew, so boring. Sometimes you hear story. How many times you watch a movie twice or three? Anybody? 7 times, 8 times? I like Ford versus Ferrari. I saw it probably 20 times, right? Inspiring for me, this story. Maybe because I love cars and this, but it's not, it wasn't for only that. But do you have any stories you're watching? Anybody saw Titanic one time? Right? How many times you see them drowning and you keep seeing it again and again, right? You know the end. That's the funny thing. You know the end and you keep seeing it. Why? Because on the way there, you learn so many things. That's why you can learn again and again and again. Do we learn something from your story if you tell it again and again? Or it was just one time and enough, don't want to hear it again. Think about it. Think about it this way. Is your story have a deeper lesson again and again? Keep saying it, keep sharing it, keep learning from that. And that is what you want to do for your story. And that is the beginning of this book. This book, Moses tells us, listen, this is not me. You don't need a guru or some rabbi or some, someone that you will be dependent on. This is you. This is all you. And that's very, very important to awaken. Next, and the last one is a beautiful one, is the idea that the week starts, the story starts as Moses started. Ele advarim, these are the things that Moses spoke, be'ever hayarden. Where? In the other side of the Jordan River. Now, many people reading that, not just me, millions. What would this sound like? If you know Hebrew, what I just said is just a description of a location where Moses was speaking. Is it true to say? Right? That's where he spoke, in the next side of the Jordan River. We know it's all code. All code. It's nothing to do with the physical character. What is the code here? When you're about to talk, when you're about to share, when you're about to speak about something, or even tell something to someone, because what happened here, Moses giving the whole story of the Israelite in a way of what did they do in the desert. So for example, one of the things that the key that we want to receive this week is that when you need to tell something to someone, let's say tough conversation. Do you have those tough conversations every other day? Right? Or every 2-3 days, sometimes. If not, probably you don't care about that people. But if you care, you're going to have some tough conversation, right? Tough meaning, I don't get, it's a little bit. Moses tells you, listen, if you have a tough conversation to say to someone or someone want to speak to you, first of all, you need to go where? Me'ever la'yarden. Speak to them in the other side of the Jordan River. What? I live in New York. What's Jordan River? What's the connection? And that's the code. Yarden is the code for Yarad Din. To remove, to take down the judgment. Yarad din, to take down. Yarad is to להוריד, to take down. Din is judgment, right? If you want to say something to someone, if it's a tough conversation, if it's something that was very painful for you, it doesn't matter. First of all, you need to go beyond the other side after you remove the judgment. Then all the words that you share with them, all the conversation that you have with them will help them to expand and grow. Other than that, you're just going to put yourself in a loop to another conversation, another tough conversation, nothing enter. Because you're speaking in judgment. The fact that you say someone, I'm not judging, doesn't mean I'm not, right? So first of all, you need to bring yourself to that reality that is beyond judgment. Then something can enter. And obviously, Moses tell them in the end, I want to remind you, Lo uchal seti levatchem. I cannot carry you by myself. The work meant to be together. The work meant to be divided. The work meant to be, that is assisting others to connect. It's not just me. Yeah, but I can do it myself. I don't know. Too many people. It take too long. You missed the point. That wasn't the project. Wasn't meant to be just you. It meant to be shared. It meant to be allowing others to elevate. So that is obviously for this week. And in the end, again, reminding you this weekend is what we call Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbat of the vision. Most of us sometimes doing Shabbat dinners or connecting in the weekend, This is the week we can receive the Chazon, the vision. What is the vision? The vision of your private Messiah. The vision of who you really are. The vision of the story that you need to see of what you become. Again, that vision, if you don't have a vision, your story becomes very tiring. So I don't want people to get tired from you, or you get tired from yourself, and you get tired from life and get depressed, and everything seems the same. Every day I'm waking up, 8 o'clock, I'm doing my breakfast, I'm going out, 8 o'clock, I'm finished working, I'm coming back, Eventually became monotone, became like, I'm tired. Why? Because you don't have a vision. Once you have that vision, again, this is what we want to receive this week with the work. So please, if you can listen to it again, share this wisdom, share that love. And obviously, if you're in New York and we're here, or you're in Tulum, or you're in LA, please be together with us and share this wisdom. So I really recommend to sit around after and discuss if you can. And if those people who have any question right now, you can definitely ask me. Thank you for joining us. Please like it and subscribe, as my friend says.